Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And hopefully every day we're improving the sound slightly. I'm trying my best. With that, let's just talk about the Ioniq 6, which will be getting free charging, but there's kind of a catch to this. So basically, Hyundai has worked with Electrify America, and they've agreed upon first-time owners of an Ioniq 6 will get 2 years of complimentary charging sessions at Electrify America's network. There is a couple things to note about this, though. Well, it's great that you are getting some free charging. It will only be for about a half hour each session. And at the rate of which it charges, it's about 33 miles an hour of charging. So that's like 15 miles on a quick charge. I guess it gives you a little boost if on your way home from work or to work if you need to charge up and just get that extra range. But it just doesn't seem that great. Maybe it'll be faster. It's really hard to say. I mean, that's a level 2 charger, and maybe the faster ones will be there too. But this is something that they're at least going to do. So this is a great way to just help get some people into buying EVs when they know they can go charge somewhere for free for a little while at least. I think that's a great help. But with that said, Electrify America is also offering to put in a station at people's homes for free. Or not for free, for an additional cost. It's great to see that they're working together to do this. It'd be great to see more, I feel like I say this every time, but more collaboration to make a one-stop shop app, a more gas station style way of doing EV charging. But until that happens, this is at least a great way to get started. And with deals like this happening, I think more and more people are going to switch to EVs. It's going to be easier than ever to charge. And if you're basically giving people free charging for a little while, it's a great way for people that haven't had an EV before to go, hey, we get free charging for a little while. That takes some of the cost out. I can at least go and try this for a little bit and just see what it's like owning an EV, what it's like to go charge places, how that all works. And this is a great way to encourage that. Just like Epic Games is going to be encouraging creators to help them create things, basically. Epic Games, at its Creator Economy 2.0 announcement, it's a pretty big one, actually, because so this happened at the Unreal keynote, and basically their new program aims to basically give creators a 40% cut of revenue. So I read it a couple different ways in different places. I read that that was just going to be overall, like creator codes and all. I also read that it was just if you created an island in Fortnite, that was going to be the 40% return. So I'm not really sure which it is at the moment. Let's just say it even is just creating the islands. On top of that, they showed their new Unreal Engine and how easy a Fortnite editor will be. I mean, to create maps, to create an entire new map for Fortnite. I mean, if you wanted to sit down for 8 hours, I mean, you could pound out a map pretty quickly if you really wanted to from what they showed off. With that said, 40% revenue on that map, that is a great way. I mean, they're giving like a YouTube cut to these Fortnite creators, which is amazing to see, let alone how wild is it to think that this long into a free game's life, they're still offering a 40% cut. And with that 40% cut, you're encouraging creators to stay, which encourages people to keep playing. And then you get more updates because you have the community creating and they can pay you for your update. This is a wild revelation. And the more they keep doing this with the Unreal Engine, the more games that are built on the Unreal Engine, the more they can encourage people to play their games. I mean, this is a great way to do it. I think they're going the right direction here with a program like this to help creators make more. Because again, if creators are playing the game, people watch the game, you have more players playing the game, you make more money. This is a great way just to do it. In the Unreal Engine, every year they show off new technology that just makes it amazing. Just like they showed off being able to use your phone basically to create create animations in game. You'll be able to use your phone to capture yourself and transfer those to game. That's wild technology. I mean, that shaves months off of development time. A lot of sweet stuff coming to the Unreal editor, not just for Fortnite, but just the engine overall. And that's great to see that somehow they're doing it doing it well, which is sick. Next up, we have something that I'm working on a similar video for this about fungi, but they're doing it with mice too. So this is a mouse-powered computer. When I say that, I don't mean necessarily like the mouse is literally running on a wheel to power the computer. I mean like the computer is using a mouse brain basically to run and operate, like your CPU, for instance. So researchers at the University of Illinois have used tens of thousands of living mouse brain cells to build a computer that can recognize patterns of light and electricity and in turn compute things. So the team just showed off the findings, and the computer's about the size of your palm. So it's not super big. It's a Raspberry Pi sized-ish. Probably a great way to describe that. It's made up of about 25,000 neurons and 80,000 synapses. The computer is capable of recognizing, again, light and electricity, which is how it's able to read, blink one, blink, 0, and so on and so forth. Now, this is a proof of concept that someday could lead to more brain-powered robotics. This is the kind of technology that could lead to breakthroughs in understanding our own brain and being able to use that towards making computers that interface with us way better, which Neuralink, hello? We're like all these technologies are coming together, and one day it's just going to happen, and we're going to have these massive new computers that are breakthroughs, and that's going to be wild to see. We're just waiting for that time to occur and happen, and until then, we're just waiting. I mean, we're waiting. Next up, we have bots of misinformation. As we know, Microsoft's Bing is using ChatGPT for a chatbot. Google has Bard, and we're seeing an alarming amount of disinformation from both of them. The wild thing is they're actually starting to quote each other, which is interesting to say the least, and also concerning, because what's happening here is recently Bing claimed Bard was shut down by Google, which was total not true. And then Bing was quoting Bard was quoting Bing that Bard was shut down. But it's Bard. So it didn't know that itself was not shut down. The chatbots, have the ability to generate responses based on incomplete and inaccurate information, just finding it on the internet. Main thing you got to know here is be careful when using these still. As cool as they are, as accurate as they can be, as quickly as they can pull up information, you still should probably click the links and double check what the actual info is, because you don't know what it's quoting. If it's quoting a random Reddit user, that might be a red flag. That's where Bard, as of right now, doesn't show you where it's getting its information necessarily, but Bing does, and so that's where Bing might be a little better to use right now, because you can go and double check it easily and see where it pulled each sentence from. Versus Google's Bard, I've seen a couple clips of people going, hey, you claimed that you did this, but I found it on this website here. And then it goes, oh, my bad. Yeah, I did take it from there. So what we need to do is just, you gotta be extra careful when using these and not fully trust them, because they're still making some things up, and there's just not much you can do about that at the moment. And so don't believe everything you see on the internet, let alone everything a chatbot is going to tell you. Tesla, however, has done exactly what Apple could not do. If you remember, Apple AirPower was supposed to come out a long time ago and ended up getting completely canned, even though it was already printed on some of Apple's packagings with the iPhones, and seemed like a rather feasible idea. Then we saw everything from chargers that could sense where a device was located and would just move the charger to the device, and so on and so forth. Not completely what AirPower promised of place anywhere, charge at speed, and be good. But Tesla has done that's not quite exactly what Apple wanted to do, but it's fairly similar. So how the Tesla one works is it's a bunch of coils back there, and will be able to basically choose which coil will bestly charge your device based on where it's placed, with them overlapping and on top of each other. Just figures out, based on where your device is, using software and algorithms, hey, this one needs to be activated. Their charger, however, will only work with 3 devices at a time, and those devices will be charged at up to 15 watts, which isn't amazing, but also isn't on the 5 or 10 watts that have seen for a long time. Now, what does this cost, you may ask? About $300. It basically looks like they took the design from the Cybertruck. Now, they're using free power technology. So Tesla themselves didn't actually make this device. They're using free power and then just built the housing. It is one of the nicest wireless chargers you will ever see. The charging pad is a premium metal body with Alcantara material to rest your devices on. It also has a nice little magnetic stand that's wedge shaped, so you can set the charger up in different ways and adjust the stand how you want. But at $300, man, I mean, is it quality? Yeah, it's built with really quality materials. Is it $300 worth? If you're a Tesla enthusiast, you probably don't care and you're buying it anyways. If you're looking for a new wireless charger, I would not spend $300. Other thing to note here is it won't work with the Apple Watch because the Apple Watch isn't Qi charging because Apple. And then you're just better off looking at other chargers anyways. But it's interesting. Tesla every once in a while does these one-off products like this that are interesting to see them do and just make you ask questions like, why was this one of the things they tackled? What makes it more interesting is something like this could be something they put in their cars in the future. Maybe it's what they use for their wireless chargers in the car right now. Kind of hard to say, but it's here. I mean, the device weighs 1.5 pounds at 1.6 pounds, 747 grams for not people. And with its wedge-shaped stand, you're actually looking at about 2.3 pounds or 1,026 grams, which is so heavy for a charger, but quality, I guess. I mean, the magnet doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It's not going to slide around on your desk, obviously, at that weight. But, I mean, $300, you're asking a lot there. I don't know if it's worth $300 for a wireless charger at any point right now, to be completely honest. But with that said, Amazon is going to tell you you don't need your wallet anymore. And they're only going to tell you that at Panera Bread for now. But Amazon's palm scanning technology or cashierless technology is basically going to be at 200 Panera Breads just like that. Boom. You can go, bring your palm only, scan it, pay, use your loyalty programs, basically known as Amazon One, to get your rewards, to just pay for your meals, which is kind of it's an interesting concept that they're going to be doing it with palms. And you ask a lot of questions here, like what happens, like right now, I burnt myself. Would my palm still work or not? I don't know. And it's to be seen. Now, it's cool technology that Amazon's doing this. Is it weird that they're doing it at Panera first? A little bit. And basically, they wanted at all Panera locations by mid-2023, which is wildly quick. And it'll be cool to see who does this next, if this comes to other platforms or what else they'll be using it for. Amazon's Go stores have kind of been a hit or miss. Turns out it's a lot harder to do a brick and mortar than Amazon thought, especially one without employees, basically, because you don't need any cashiers. You just take stuff and it charges you. Will this become more common? I don't know. This is a weird one. And I completely forgot that Amazon was working on a palm scanning payment technology. I don't see how you're going to use this to pay for things at Amazon ever. It's just kind of a very weird one that they're doing and doesn't make sense to me at all, but it's here, I guess, and it's happening. So you know about it. Lastly, we have VW will be supporting Android Automotive in its car for the lifetime of the car, or 15 years. So Android Auto is basically becoming what a lot of companies are starting to use instead of their, to be honest, crappy software in their cars. So you can find this in everything from General Motors to Polestars to Volvos to Hondas. and soon both BMW and Volkswagen. And Volkswagen's just announced that they're going to do it for 15 years. I have seen that just because they're going to support it for 15 years doesn't mean that some updates won't be charged for or be subscription based. It's all up in the air how that will work so far. But even if they do charge a subscription or just upgrades every once in a while, at least they're doing it. A lot of devices don't even get software updates for the full length of a device's life cycle. I mean, most phones don't, to be completely honest. I mean, you have iPhones and that's probably about it. Most Android phones don't get supported for their entire life. It's great to see that for some reason a car company is going to be doing that right first. I mean, even if you were to, say, have a phone, say they go, we're going to give you 3 years updates for free, and then we'll do another 5 after that or something, or 3 more after that. But those 3 more each year is going to be $20. I think a lot of people would probably still do that, especially people that use their phone and would want those software updates. As long as they're good, as long as they're getting bug fixes still, as long as it's not slowing down their phone or making it have terrible battery life. If they do that, I could see a lot of people wanting to pay for that and even use that subscription still. And that's where I think this is cool for cars. I mean, your car could basically get better over time, or at least some of the bugs will get fixed, especially it's something like Android Automotive. Android Auto, let's just say here, it's going to be kind of like an Android here, where it's going to be a little bit customized by each car company. And if they do find a flaw, at least they're basically saying they're willing to update it. And hopefully this means if it's over the lifetime of a car, you'll be able to do it wirelessly and won't have to bring it in every time there's an update, because that would actually be painstakingly annoying. But again, it's cool to see that they're actually willing to support it for its entire lifetime. Hopefully more manufacturers start doing this, and it's a great way to just keep people using your product. I mean, with a car, yeah, you don't sell that many to like the same person year over year, but this is a great way to kind of keep that going, keep your customers staying with you for longer, and still put some cash in your pocket. So I'm glad that they're doing something at least. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, let me know if the audio is getting better down below. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.